It's no secret that banks today are facing immense pressure to not only enhance customer experience but also ensure they maintain high efficiency and mitigate risks. With rising concerns over non performing assets and increasing threats of fraud, adopting technology to streamline operations is not just an option but it's quite essential. Hello and welcome today to the episode of another episode of Analytics Insight podcast, where we explore the most transformative trends and innovation shaping industries across. And I'm your host, Priya Dialani. Now, from automation to predictive analytics, technology is helping banks modernize their systems, making them more agile, secure, and customer centric. In this episode, we are going to discuss a critical role that digitizing workflows plays in driving efficiency, reducing non performing assets, and preventing frauds in banking. So, let's welcome Mr. Pranav Patil, Chief Data Scientist at AdvaRisk. Hi, Pranav, how are you doing?
Hi Priya, I'm very good. Thank you for having me here.
Great, it's a pleasure to have you with us, Pranav. So, before we dive deeper into the role of technology in terms of how
hmm
it is changing the financial landscape and how banks can leverage them, let's first talk about AdvaRisk. If you can help us understand more about the company, any particular solution the company is offering, it would be great.
Okay, so I will just brief about AdvaRisk, what AdvaRisk is. So, AdvaRisk is like a fintech startup enabling financial institution with end-to-end collateral management using its AI-powered data intelligence platform. So, AdvaRisk is the largest repository of standardized digital land records in agriculture and property. Property, I mean, is a non-agri or commercial properties. So, we are currently live in 21 states and one union territory. We have a largest property database with more than 46 crores of records across urban, semi-urban, and rural areas. Advaris has a portfolio of agriculture properties, farmlands, as well as commercial and residential properties. We currently have the active portfolio of 4.5 CR properties of a financial institutions. Advaris is well known and backed by ICICI and NABARD. Advaris delivers measurable results and improves the security posture of 40 plus financial institutions. AdvaRisk is currently processing 40,000 properties per day. That is depending upon the volume. So in the range of 10 to 14,000 properties per day. And with AdvaRisk's own Gen AI capabilities, AdvaRisk helping banks and financial institutions make processing of this loan application faster by 5x. So yeah, that's it about AdvaRisk.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Pranav, and that was pretty insightful. And thank you for sharing those numbers and astounding figures as to the database or what is difference that AdvaRisk is bringing into the industry. I think you also have deep expertise in data science and AI, being like a chief data scientist. I'm pretty sure about that. But if you can also tell us more about your role, how has your journey been till date, Pranav, and what probably triggered your interest towards the company.
Okay, so basically, I have around more than 14 plus year of experience in the domain of data science and AI, and my core capabilities are mostly in natural language processing. So I started my career with IBM. Then I worked for Principal Financial Group, which is again a kind of investment banking. Then I worked for the L&T, that is LTI Mindtree now. And so consecutively I was working in different domains, different tech stacks, but mostly that was related to the textual data processing. That was, we called it as a NLP. So Advarisk is basically doing NLP, and that too in a regional language. So if you ask, India has a variety of regional languages. So currently we are live in 21 plus states. So entire this natural language data processing is mostly done in the regional language. So prior to Advaris, I have worked in natural language, but that was basically in mostly in English or some European language, but the script is English only. But what motivates to me is like as it is a Indian startup and basically focusing on Indian regional language. So that was a very unknown area, I would say, for me, as well as to the AI world or NLP world. Even if you see all large amount of large language models, AI models, which are pre-trained, but 95 to 98% of data on which it's trained is of English, not the regional. Even though they claim that they supports 50 plus, 16 plus, 20 plus languages, but the volume of data it is trained on is mostly English. 95 plus percent of data is in English language. So that motivated me, let's do something for the English non-English languages, and mostly the regional languages. So then I joined AdvaRisk. It's been more than a year now. I'm with AdvaRisk, and here basically we worked on mostly the natural language processing in original language. So it breaks into two steps when we talk about NLP. So the first step is natural language understanding, and then second is the natural language generation. So our major focus is the first step, what is the natural language understanding, because whatever the land records, whatever the input documents did we process for financial institution is in regional language. So for that we need to understand that language, and while understanding that language, we need a deep capabilities of take for that, because if you ask me, as a human reads, right? So we understand this is how. Let's take an example of a newspaper. When as a human we read a newspaper, we get to know that we don't read it horizontally, we need it in a vertical paragraphs, because there is a white space margin and our brains understand that this is one paragraph in a vertical direction, and once it ends you have to start back from the next paragraph at a top corner. So that's where our brains understand. But whenever we feed such type of the documents or land record documents to machine don't understand that it has to be processed in a vertical way or horizontal way. It's directly starts reading it line by line, and that's where the context is getting lost. So basically, our area or my role is basically to do the extraction of data from this document. That is the first step. Then the second step is extracting or mining information from that data. That is the second step. And the third is generating the insights from that data. Using those insights, bank can take a call for the for their decisions, whatever the decisions they want to take, depending upon whether they are solving the use case for monitoring, remonitoring, due diligence, onboarding, NPA, that is due diligence. So this is how my role is. So there are 4 to 5 teams which are currently reporting me. The first is like a data engineering team that do the job of data extraction. Then second is data analysis team. They do the data analysis, like what kind of data it is, what kind of patterns in these data. So and then the third is ML engineering team that integrates the ML models or AI models or the deep learning large language models we have developed on this the process data extracted data, and the using this model we are able to generate the insights on top of that. And there is a separate R&D team, we called it as a research scientist team, which continuously help us to evolve the models, retraining of model, training of model, feedback training of the models on the latest data. So that's what our
Right.
entire work and role in the organization.
Great. Thank you for sharing those insights and helping our listeners understand your role and probably your day-to-day workflow be like. Moving ahead, I think in recent years, the digitalization of banks has gone from a competitive advantage to a survival strategy. With advancements in AI, machine learning, data analytics, and even automation, banks can now optimize each and every part of their operation, be it loan processing, customer management, risk assessment, or even regulatory compliance for that matter. We want to know from you, Pranav, how digital transformation is, reshaping the operations of the financial and the banking sector, and how it is helping them improve their efficiency.
Okay. So, frankly speaking, digital transformation for banks is a game changer. It has streamlined the all processes in the banks. Whatever the steps which are currently done manually, I don't feel any of the machines or any of the steps which cannot be done by machines now. So, like if you say the example like data management, now with the digital platforms can enable banks to centralize and manage large volume of data more effectively to improve the transparency and decision making. So it has streamlined the entire data for the banks. Then take an example of like a remote access. Now with the digital transformation in place, allows banks and employees of the banks and partners to access the crucial information from anywhere. That helps them to improve the productivity, as well as they can do the job of one location from another location. Now it's need not to have the person to present at the same location to verify or to analyze the documents of a customer. Then the major is like automated loan processing. Now if you have seen the many apps on the there are advertisement over the internet and all, like get your loan in 3 minutes, 6 minutes. So AdvaRisk has also done that. We have automated the farmer loan processing in 3 minutes only. So that automation in digital processes accelerates loan evaluation, collateral verification, significantly reducing turnaround times. So AdvaRisk support this processing over 40,000 properties daily, and helping banks to make a faster lending decisions. So this is now because of that digital transformation, loan processing has been completely automated. Then the next is like I would say operational cost. Because of this digital transformation, operational cost also has been reduced, because most of the manual things which were done in the past now has been automated. Now many of the financial institution have reduced their ops cost, like manual operation team, and they are doing they are getting this done through AI powered tools and technology. Today only I read the news about one of the financial institution. They have reduced the 60% of their manual workforce uh, because of the AI capabilities they have introduced over the period of few years. So that is how it is helping to reduce that cost and allow banks to allocate resources more efficiently. So I would say definitely digital transformation is going to next level. Even if you see in the times of COVID, there were a lot of time we people were not able to go out, but have needs to open the bank's account, and then video KYC has been came into picture. Now even from opening the bank account till loan processing, doing all transactions has been done very smoothly because of the AI powered or role of digital transformation in the banking industry.
Well, yes, definitely. Even I agree with you that digital transformation has definitely been a game changer for the financial and the banking industry. And in the coming years as well, we will see more of these innovative solutions play a very important role in how banks can reduce their operational costs and improve efficiency and ultimately ensure a great customer service and experience for their customers. Um, Initially I spoke about
Right.
non-performing assets. So
Hmm.
the I think if we talk about the impact of digitizing workflows, can have it helps in kind of reducing the NPAs. The banks have historically struggled with identifying NPAs before they become problematic. Now this often stems from the use of outdated systems or manual processes and even siloed data that delay decision making.
Hmm.
Traditionally, identifying and managing NPAs has been very manual and time consuming, which has often resulted in prone to errors and also inefficiencies. But with the help of digitization, I think banks can leverage more real time data, to flag potential defaulters early and take preventive measures before things spiral out of the control. So it kind of allows a bank to integrate data from multiple sources in real time, and it provides more of a 360-degree view of a customer's financial health, and that way they can take their strategic decisions wisely. If you want to understand from you how AI actually works and helps in managing and reducing non-performing assets.
Hmm. Yeah, so again, AI is now everywhere. So similarly, AI is also playing a crucial role in reducing or managing the NPS. So I would say there are three steps how we can reduce, or how banks can reduce the NPS with the help of AI. One is like preventative or predictive analysis, which you highlighted. Second is like any frauds that are going to happen for using the fraud detection. And then the third would be like collateral valuation, how enhanced collateral valuation can be done. So talking about this, how predictive analysis for risk management can help bank reduce is like AI can analyze your historical data to identify potential risk and predict loan defaults. So that helps bank proactively address NPS. Title due diligence in hours instead of weeks. Like initially it was around about to take like a weeks or 2 weeks of time for getting the title due diligence done. But now with AI powered capabilities, it is happening within hours or few hours. So that helps bank to get it done for each and every property in a faster pace. Then ease of integration is also with the bank's platform, and features are in built messaging platform for end-to-end communication. So for each steps we can send the communications using that, and these are the automated powered communications which can also help. So all in standardized format across states. So these communication which we are sending is being in the standard format across states. So whatever the states level anomalies are there can be catered very efficiently. Then fraud detection. AI powered system can detect unusual pattern and anomalies in transactions, significantly involving in the fraud detection. So to talking about these things, I would say as a human we can find a fraud or something for which the pattern or data or we have gone through. If we have went through the similar kind of fraud in the past, we can find a pattern, or when the next type of similar kind of fraud is happening in the future, we will get to know, no, no, this has happened to me in the past, so I will be safe from this, or I will prevent myself from this in the future or next time. But now this place has been replaced by AI models or machines. So they understand all historical data of your frauds and patterns, and using those patterns and data, now they can predict proactively as a preventative measures to their customers or the users, saying that this could be the fraud. So whenever the user is doing any transactions, user is having any processing or fraud loan processing is happening, at that time they can take a call and do a double check on top of this. That can help uh, in the reductions of the frauds in this, like false loans applications is also now a major in fintech industry, like getting loan application done from on someone's name with the fake documents and getting it approved. So and then one more thing is like which helps in NPA is basically collateral valuation. While doing a collateral valuation, now we can have a AI algorithms in place that can provide a precise and real time valuation of collateral, which can allows banks to adjust their risk exposure dynamically. So talking about this example, what initially is happening, like collateral valuation is done on the basis of two things. One is like if it is a urban property, it has been done on the basis of ready reckoner rate, but that could be the ready reckoner rate might be lower in some time, whereas the actual valuation of the collateral or property is more. So now with AI powered capabilities and with the data in hand, we can identify like what is the actual cost in the nearby properties. If you take an example of urban areas, the societies. So if one flat is sold at some price and the same at the similar time, if we are getting transaction of a ready reckoner rate which is mentioning as a 4,000, but actual the transaction happen in the same society or apartment with a transaction more than 4,000. So using this data, bank can do the collateral valuation more better. No, the actual cost is not with respect to 4,000, but this collateral holds more associates more valuation than this. So that helps bankers to get involved or financial institutions to get involved and track the NPS. And the one more thing which AdvaRisk is currently doing is like the using all available records, land records, and property records, or the property records basically. uh, we can identify that if some person having, this is a post activity basically when the assets turns to NPA or on the verge of NPA. So we as advice can identify whether this person or the organization or institution holds any more other assets or collateral somewhere. So that helps banks with the more information, and they can mortgage add a mortgage on top of those valuation as well, those collaterals as well. That can helps to reduce actual NPA and maybe uh, improve the faster recovery. So Advaris is working on this space as well, and helping lot of financial institution, I would say almost all private public sector banks and other NBFCs as well for doing this. So this is again possible with the help of AI capabilities, because without AI we cannot analyze these many property transactions or these many day-to-day data which is happening over the period of time. So this is how we can reduce actually the
Right.
NPS.
Right, yeah, and I think I agree with you because fraudulent activities in the banking sector have been on the rise, and digitalization and
Hmm.
artificial intelligence is definitely playing a very critical role in combating these frauds. Because with AI tools and systems, banks are now better equipped to detect and prevent fraud before it occurs. Like you mentioned, an example of how they can identify those patterns and analyze a customer's typical spending habits, and such
Hmm.
real-time monitoring is really important to stopping fraud in its progress and its tracks as well. When we're talking about using
Hmm.
digitization or leveraging digitization in the financial institutions, I think this particular industry has to stay compliant with the ever-evolving regulatory requirements. For example,
Right.
banks have to adhere to strict compliance standards, and failing to result in hefty fines and reputational damage. And the use of AI, on the other hand, has also raised several ethical and legal concerns, including privacy, lack of transparency, and algorithmic bias. And in terms of privacy, AI systems pose challenges concerning how they may process or store personal data without proper permission. So, what are some of the challenges you think that banks can face in terms of implementing these AI solutions, and how we can overcome them? Or if AdvaRisk is playing an important role here in helping these banks overcome these hurdles?
So for banks, there are multiple challenges in AI integration. The first thing is like trust for the bank to build whether my data which I will be sharing will be uh, secured enough. So for that, there are a lot of data prevention and security policy like GDPA, which is in Europe. Now India, we have DPDPA that helps in digital personal data protection. So those are there. So Advaris has those ISO certified as well as DPDPA certified that can help and prevention and security of the data, mostly the PII data. And even Advaris don't deal with the PII data. So that's uh, helps banks to integrate it more faster. In addition, that the major challenge bank faces is integrating AI system with the existing banking infrastructure, because existing infrastructure is complex, and especially when dealing with a legacy system. They have the different tech stacks, whereas the AI powered or model which are developed in recently in Pythons, whereas bank are working on mostly in the legacy tech stacks and system. So there is a lot of challenge in these integrations. So that's where that is actually first step for bank to integrate the AI capabilities in their system. Then another is like a regulatory compliance, which I just talked. There are different data preventions and security policies in place. So navigating the regulatory landscape can be hurdle when implementing AI solutions, as data privacy and security are top concerns in this. And again, also the majority of the thing is like data loss. So data should not get published somewhere wrongly, or data should not get lost during this things while integration. So that's also the preliminary or most important things band need to take care, and which is again one of the challenging aspect. Also, I would say while integrating the banks fails is like for AI capabilities is the skill gap, because the need of for skilled personnel to manage and interpret AI solution poses a challenge. Uh, as these AI resources now, you say it's everywhere, it's demanding. So getting those resources, getting a proper training done, getting the best utilize of those resources is very tedious. The one who has all the AI capabilities, tech stack, knowledges, leadership can do it more easily as compared to one who has worked on the legacy system and now trying to adopt these things. So they also can do it, but it will be the time consuming for them. So
Right.
these are actually the major
Mhm.
challenges for banks to implementing AI solutions.
Right, right. And I think it's very important that banks use a very integrated and comprehensive solution and a strategy ensure that they are effectively adopting AI solutions, thereby overcoming the hurdles that you explained to me. But as we look ahead, I think the future of banking will only become more digital. Financial institutions are rapidly embracing technologies like blockchain for secure transactions, AI for
Mm-hmm.
smarter decision making, and data analytics for personalized customer experiences. So I think the role of digitization is definitely not temporary, but it's more of a long-term strategy in order to have a competitive edge in the rapidly evolving financial landscape. So having said that, how do you see the future of AI in banking operations and any trends that you predict in the coming years?
So definitely, if you've seen in the past how we travel, like getting for simple bank account opening, we are going into the banks with lot of documentation, and then asking for some document and signature, and all these things are getting verified. Then your past record, then your account is getting opened with all hard copies and all. But now we are in a position where we can open the bank account digitally within few minutes. So this is level we have transitioned so far. And now with AI capabilities in place, still there are some loan processing where we need to do some hiccups, like maybe in urban for property loans or house mortgage loans, it has been more standardized now. But still you have to visit 2 to 3 times in a banks. But now, if you talk about rural sector in agri loan processing, uh, when we move or farmers, actually we have seen this, when farmers are looking for the loan, they have to go to the banks with the bank details, along with the all details required by the bank. So they sometimes they go and don't carry any of the document, and then bank officers ask them ki go and bring take this document, then this land record extraction, then they have to go to the revenue officer and ask for the satbara, or maybe we say it as a land record, and then this has to be updated, and then they go to bank and ask for the loan against that land. That is, we called it as basically agri loan. Now with AdvaRisk in place for this, some of the banks we are currently or closely working on, they have already automated this flow. uh, any farmer who is looking for loan, basically they just have to take their Aadhaar card copy or Aadhaar number along with their uh, land details. So land details is basically Tehsil village district from where they are. So it is mostly they are visiting the same branch, and they just need a survey numbers of that land. So Advaris helps banks to entirely pull the digitized land records from the system or government records, extraction of the meaningful information from it, and giving banks the insight, is there any loan already hold on this, if the previous loan is closed or not. Now and bank can take a quick call on this. So if you say this is completely happening digitized, even farmers can apply digitize and they can get the loan in 3 minutes of time. So that is already been in place. In future with AI in place, I see there are two things. One is majorly we will be keep on improving in the financial transactions. Currently we used to carry recently, like with a place of this UPI in the market, we are doing it now with very ease with the UPI transaction. But there are again chances of fraud are happening on this transaction, so that is a major concerns for a people. So now I see how these authentications also can be done with recognitions, like a facial recognition. So if you want to swipe a cards, or then you enter basically OTP or the pin code for your card. But because of that also there is chances someone can take your pin and use your card. So how we can avoid this? So I see future over there is like one can do the facial recognition based transaction that will be coming soon, and I feel some of the uh, aggregators like mm, all these cards providing company can adopt to this soon. And in additionally, now I feel AI will more focus on digitization, as well as the majority of focus will be in future on fraud detection and preventions. How we can reduce the fraud in this transaction, which are basically digital transaction happening across. So AI will play a very critical role in that, in reduction of this transaction. So if you see, the fraud percentage is very high currently, so the AI will majorly work in this space to reduce these things.
Yeah, I think that definitely makes sense. And to wrap things up, I think digitizing operations and workflows in the banking sector is definitely no longer a choice, it's a necessity. And with
Right.
rising pressures from both customers and regulators, banks that fail to modernize risk falling behind. And with the use of AI, I think they can reduce NPAs, prevent fraud, and even enhance compliance. It all of this will help determine which financial institutions thrive in this digital age. Well, thank you so much, Pranav. It was a pleasure having you with us on our podcast. I think we got to know a lot about the role of AI in the banking and in the banking and the financial
Mhm.
sector, and what are some future trends that can help banking sectors thrive in this complex industry.
Yeah, thanks so much, Priya. It was pleasure talking to you on this podcast.
Thank you, Pranav. So this is for our listeners. Thank you for tuning in today's episode at Analytics Insight Podcast. And I hope today's discussion gave you valuable insights into how digitization is transforming the financial services industry. Nevertheless, you can view all our previous podcasts on Spotify and other leading platforms, and stay tuned for upcoming podcasts. Until next time, stay ahead of the curve and keep innovating. Thank you so much.